What's up, guys? On this week's show,
Top Gun 2,
Spawn Unchained,
and School Shooter the Game?
plus
Dumb Shit of the Week.
All that and more on this episode
Of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and with me is my co-host, DJ Melly Mel.
Hey! I'd like to send a special thanks to our friends over at Studio. They are makers of high-quality designer headphones, and we will talk more about them later in our show.
All right, boys and girls. So, if you have been a edgelord like most of us were in the early 90s, then you will remember Spawn. Spawn, yes. So Spawn is a character that was created by Todd McFarlane back in the 90s. Todd McFarlane is a comic book writer and artist. He got his start doing covers and stuff like that for Marvel Comics. And he actually did the design for Venom. So we have Mr. Todd McFarlane to thank for Venom. And him and Rob Liefeld, who is the guy who created Deadpool, co-founded their own independent comic book studio. I think it's Dark Horse Comics. Yeah. And he created Spawn, and he owns the rights to the character. Like, I don't know. Back in the day, a lot of artists did not own the rights to their characters. The company owned it. So, you know, the guys who created Superman don't own Superman per se, or Batman or anything like that. It's like, you know, the rights are usually with the comic book companies. There's probably a trust for their families or some shit like that, but for the most part, you know, it's Marvel or DC's character. But Todd McFarlane was one of the lucky few who actually owns his character, and he took it with him. Now, at the time when Spawn came out right around the time of, you know, Venom and Cable was coming in X-Men. So it was all this edgelord shit. Everybody had to be super buff and have just all this just exaggerated. Blade. Yes, exactly. Blade. Just all these super exaggerated
features.
Yeah, exactly. And Spawn was kind of birthed out of that time. And the reason why I said some edgelord shit is because it was like, how can we make him edgy? And it was like, okay, first he'll be black.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of black superheroes. And what else? How else can we make him edgy?
You're going to have a fancy cape.
Yeah. Big, just obnoxiously big. Yeah.
Big, you got it.
Which Todd McFarlane was known for, because I think the editor at the time when he was at Marvel actually used to get mad at him because when he would draw Spider-Man, he would draw him with like a million webs like all over the place when he would be swinging. And the editor would be like, you have to stop doing this. Like, you can't keep drawing all these webs. You know, it's hard to color them and ink them and stuff like that. It just takes up too much of the page. Like, you're just making this harder than it needs to be. And so in defiance of that, Todd would make even more webs.
Make them bigger.
Shit. Yeah, so if you've ever seen a comic book cover or any image of Spider-Man, he's swinging and there's like, it just looks like rope all around him and shit, that's probably a Todd McFarlane drawing. But anyway, so he kind of carried that over into Spawn with the cape. So the cape is like just crazy all over the place, and it has all these like extensions going everywhere.
Just think Doc Strange's cape, only about 100 times bigger.
Right, yeah. Doctor Strange's cape, the Cloak of Levitation or something I think it's called.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. That on steroids pretty much is Spawn's cape. But yeah, so what? So he had to be black to make him edgy. He swears a lot.
Yep.
He was a mercenary. And there's a lot of sex and fucking.
Yes.
And what else? How else can we make him edgy? He works for Satan.
Yes.
It was like he just like had a bag or a list of shit that he was just like, okay, what's cool and you know, hip and kind of going against the grain right now. And it's like, yeah, oh, we can give him some chains too. So he'd be like a biker. So he'd be like, you know, Ghost Rider, but not your daddy's Ghost Rider. Anyway.
It'll be Ghost Rider from the hood.
We're gonna get there. So, like I said, at the time, he was going out of his way to make this character edgy and cool and whatever. And the comic book run has done, I'm pretty sure it's still in print, current now. It has done well over the years. It's kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. It's not very mainstream.
I say it's never been I've never been a big fan of it.
Yeah. It's kind of like an acquired taste. It's not a bad story.
No, not at all.
It's just Todd McFarlane is not that great of a writer. He's a great comic book artist. Mm-hmm. His writing, Now, when other writers can come in and work on these characters, then the stories are a bit better because, it seemed like a more trained hand is behind the pen, I guess, when it comes to the scripts or whatever. But anyway, Spawn eventually was made into a animated series for a couple seasons, I think, on HBO. I remember watching that when I was young. That was it. It was more of a character study than like any kind of like action and shit, because a lot of it was just characters talking,
right,
and shit like that. But I mean, there was a lot of sex and violence and all kind of crazy shit. And then there is the 1997, I believe it was, Spawn movie, and good fucking lord. So okay. I remember at the time when that movie came out, I was like so hyped for that shit. Like, cause, okay, you gotta remember, I'm gonna take you back, kids. This is 97. So, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies haven't came out yet. We were just getting off of the, Batman and Robin bullshit.
Yeah. We're getting over the bat nipples.
Yes. Yeah. We're just getting past that. It's still fresh in our minds, but not quite to the era of superhero movies that we're in currently. Not before X-Men and all that other shit.
It was before
pretty
X-Men.
much just that gap in between. It basically, wow. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure Blade came out like 97 or 98 too.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
did.
These were like that kind of weird gap in between bat nipples and, Spider-Man.
I don't even think we had a good Superman at that point.
No, because Superman Returns didn't come out until the 2000s. So yeah,
I think the last one was still
Christopher Reeve.
The Christopher Reeves. We didn't have all the Superman on TV shows.
We had Lois and Clark. Come on, who can forget about Dean Cain?
You got that good old Dean Cain. No,
I never got why they cast him. I was like, he doesn't look anything like what I would picture Superman to be in my mind at all. But anyway,
and every time I see him on like the Lifetime movies, I'm like, yes, that's where you belong, is the creepy weird husband that kills off his wife.
I know he's always a villain.
I would say he played Scott Peterson, so
but yeah, so
anyway,
so we didn't have a lot to choose from as far as comic book movies at that time. So hey, we took the scraps of whatever we could fucking get. But that movie is, oh god, that it's so bad. John Leguizamo is great. Yes. As the Vindicator, or no, I'm sorry, the Violator.
The Violator, which sounds so weird nowadays.
Yeah, I know. It was like, yeah.
90s were a different time. Okay.
Yeah, is that edgelord shit? Yeah.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. But yeah, so John Leguizamo's in it. Michael Jai White is in it. He plays Spawn. Martin Sheen is in it. Charlie Sheen's dad. Yep. He plays the villain. There's a few other actors in it. The special effects are terrible. It is so ugly. Even by 97 standards, it was bad. The story was meh. It could have been something good. It could have been, especially for like the budget they could have used. Like, you don't need to necessarily, I mean, some people would argue different, but I don't necessarily think that you need to make it some big fantastical CG thing.
Sure. Because
it takes place in New York and alleys and shit. He uses guns and shit. I mean, granted, yes, he has the cape and the chains, but he still likes to shoot a motherfucker too. Like, that's his training as a mercenary, so that's his thing. Anyway, that movie's bullshit. So Spawn has been on hiatus for, what, the last...
20 years.
20?
97.
God damn, you're right. Okay, yeah. So Spawn has been on hiatus for 20 years.
21, actually. Because it's 18.
Yeah, he's old enough to drink now. But So Todd McFarlane has been behind the scenes for years saying he's going to make a Spawn reboot. We're going to bring it back. Or, I'm working on the script. This has been a old wives' tale for years now. Well, I guess we're finally making some progress with it because Blumhouse Pictures has signed a deal with him to make the movie, and we finally have our star, Jamie Foxx. Now, yeah, I know. Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm hating on Jamie because I really like Jamie Foxx. I think he's fucking hilarious. I love his stand-up.
Sure.
I loved him back on the Jamie Foxx show. I love him as Ray. That movie he did with Robert Downey Jr. where he's like a crazy homeless dude that can play the violin and shit. That's a good movie. That movie he's in with Tom Cruise where Tom Cruise is like a assassin and shit and he's a taxi driver.
Oh, Collateral.
Collateral. He's good in that. I mean, he's a good actor. I cannot forgive him for Django Unchained, though. So, if you were curious about why it said Spawn Unchained, that's why. Because Jamie Foxx was in Django Unchained, and you see the connection now. Anyway. I cannot let that movie go. That movie bothers me on so many levels. And the fact that he was in that movie. And I kind of lost some respect for Sam Jackson for being in that shit, too. Because that... I don't give a fuck what Quentin Tarantino say. Django Unchained is some of the most racist mainstream shit I have seen in my life. I'm like...
Wasn't that the point, though? For it to be
sure
overtly racist?
Sure, but I don't need that. I'm like... And I know a lot of people didn't like that shit. It's like, look, I can only hear the word nigger so many times before I'm just like... Okay, I can't deal with you no more. Like, and I lost some respect for Leonardo DiCaprio for that shit too, because it's like, man, I give you props because they said Jamie Foxx did say behind the scenes that Leo didn't feel right, doing it, and they kind of had to push him and get him into character to get him to that place. But I don't know, man. Like that shit. Anyway, we're gonna leave that alone. Anyway, but since then, Jamie Foxx has really kind of been on some bullshit.
Isn't he in the new Robin Hood?
Yeah, he's in that, which does not look good.
No.
And I'm surprised that he would even come back to a superhero movie, to be honest with you. After what they did to him in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Don't You Know I'm Electro, like that. Oh, have you ever seen that movie? The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No, I passed on that one.
Okay, well... After he gets turned into Electro, they have him like in his lab and they're trying to like figure out his powers and what he can do and all this other shit. And he's talking to like the doctor and he goes, he has this really horrible German accent, which is fine because my accents are always terrible anyway. So this would be a perfect time to do one. So he's like, a
German accent?
I think so.
Oh, God.
And it's not going to sound.
All right.
It's going to be terrible.
Hit me with it.
But he's like, what are you? Like, that's and Jamie Foxx, literally, I am verbatim. This is in my show notes. I copied this verbatim. He says, don't you know I'm Electro? And then all this, like, dubsteppy, like, bam, 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 music starts playing in the background.
Oh, my
God. That movie is a clusterfuck from beginning to end. And I love Spider-Man, and I cannot defend that movie.
My God. Yeah, I'm glad I hit pass on that one.
Yeah, no, just, trust me, you'd want those 2 hours of your life back. But, I mean, okay, my issues with Jamie Foxx aside, though Tom McFarlane had given an interview explaining what, how his process to get into this place and how he decided on Jamie Foxx. And I guess Jamie had came to him 5 years ago and talked to him about Spawn and wanting to, play the character. And he said as he was writing the script, that meeting they had never left him. So when he was writing, the character, he always had Jamie in his mind.
Okay.
Pictured as that, which that's all well and good. But I'm like, Jamie Foxx ain't been in a good movie in 5 years. So I'm like, his star has fallen quite a bit. So it's like, yeah, you might be doing him a favor. Like, oh, Jamie had loyalty to me. He came to me about the character and the story. But I'm like, yeah, but he ain't a real bankable star no more. And if you look, the budget for this movie is going to be low. Like, for those of you who may not know who Blumhouse Pictures are, they produce movies like, Insidious and pretty much if it's a low budget horror movie that's come out within the last 4 years, it's probably a Blumhouse movie. Split is a Blumhouse movie.
That one did well, though.
Yeah, no. Not saying that they make bad movies, but they make
just low
cheap
budget
movies.
Yeah.
And you want to make Spawn for wait for it, this movie has anywhere from a $10 to $12 million budget. This will be even more low budget than the original 97 Spawn movie.
Wow.
So I'm like, are we just not going to be in hell? We're just not going to show that because we ain't got the money for that. And I'm like, is Jamie Foxx just doing this shit for free? The movie's only $12 million budget. That's like his asking fee off top. I'm like, so he must just be like, hey,
I really want to be this character.
I was going to say, he must really fucking love Spawn, or he is just desperate for a hit anywhere he can get it. He like, look, I don't care if I don't make no money off this. This can catapult me into the next thing. Who fucking knows? But
I don't end up catapulting him backwards.
Yeah, and honestly, with the budget and with who they got to play him, I like that character. I don't love him per se. I'm interested to see what Blumhouse does with it because they do make pretty good movies on the cheap. Yeah. But they're usually pretty good.
I mean, I've seen Insidious. They're not bad. I liked Split.
Okay.
Very low budget, but I liked it.
Sure. Did you remember that movie we did the review for the trailer on Upgrade?
Yes.
With the poor man's Tom Hardy and all that shit. And
Yes.
Trailer? Yes. That's a Blumhouse movie.
Okay.
So, and that looks good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to just sit here and just shit all over, Spawn just because Jamie Foxx is in it. But
right.
I am. Like, I'm not, but
I am.
I literally am right in this moment as I'm saying I'm not going to. But any thoughts on Spawn besides?
I mean, I don't really remember the 97 version.
Don't.
I was 6 at the time, so that's not really something I was watching. And then I never paid attention to it after the fact to go back and be like, oh my God, what did I miss?
Right.
No.
Oscar nominated. Oh,
yeah.
Wait, no, it's not
it's
nominated
not.
for anything.
Maybe I might check it out on Netflix or something if it's there. Or
I would say, supposedly this is coming out in October of next year. I would say if it does ever get made and it does come out, we will make it a point to watch the original and watch the new version. So then that way we have something to compare it against.
At least check out the trailer.
To the original?
No, the new one.
Oh yeah, no. I want to see it because I want to see what they do with this.
Okay.
I am open-minded to be impressed by whatever. So, I'm not going to just hate on it. Anywho. All right, moving on. Oh God. Oh Lord. Oh, poor man. Okay, so again, we make this joke all the time about how somehow, some way, either we will bring up Batman and or Michael Keaton in every episode. So just know that we're keeping that tradition going because we are talking about the worst Batman?
Yes.
We can say.
Yes.
I don't know. George Clooney was pretty bad.
No, George Clooney at least played a good Bruce Wayne.
Sure. Okay. So, all right. The worst Batman then.
Yes.
Val Kilmer. So, if you haven't heard, Tom Cruise put out a tweet not too long ago confirming that we are getting a Top Gun 2. Don't know why we're getting a Top Gun 2, but
35 years later.
Yeah, somebody was waiting around for this shit. He's like, any day now, Val. he was waiting. Oh God, I'm not even gonna ruin the joke.
I would say just
so. Tom Cruise announced on Twitter that there will be a Top Gun 2, and he posted this. He tweeted this picture of Maverick like looking at a jet plane, and it's saying like take flight or Need for Speed or some shit like that. I don't know. It's not even a poster. It's just basically I think it's a shot from the original movie. Who knows? Anyway, so
does he have the mole? That'll tell you. He's got that
no,
giant mole.
He has his head turned, so you can't see his face.
Damn. Anyways, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So, yeah. Tom Cruise was talking about this, and I'm getting this from express.co.uk. It says, Cruise said, stylistically it's going to be the same. Aviators are back, the Need for Speed. We're going to have big, fast machines. It's going to be a competition film, like the first one, but a progression for Maverick. And then it says, but what about Iceman? Kilmer has made no secret for his hopes for a comeback in the movie, posting a series of rather blatant bids for attention. He's even wearing an Iceman t-shirt. Now, it goes on to say, back in November 2016, Kilmer notoriously announced that he was involved in Top Gun 2, and then humiliatingly was forced to withdraw his statement. He wrote, "I just got offered Top Gun 2. Not often you get to say yes without reading the script." Shortly after, he issued a lengthy retraction, adding, "I jumped the Top Gun." And I was like, shoot me in the face for that bullshit. But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait.
I know. In May of last year, Kilmer posted 2 suggestive images. The first read, "Friend said it's official. Top Gun 2 was announced today. I'm ready, Tom. Still got my Top Gun plaque. Still got the moves. Still got it."
No, you don't.
No, Lord, he don't. Almost 2 weeks later, he posted his own artwork, a painted image, again, of himself as Iceman. He wrote, "New art of Iceman." Hours later, he was even less subtle with a new post of himself back in the same t-shirt with the comment, "Still got it, just saying." Cruise, it seems, also feels the need to keep his thoughts to himself. Just saying.
Is it like, it seems like he's just pushing for this, whether they are or aren't making a Top Gun 2. Like, he's just like, hey, don't forget me over here. He's taking more pride in the fact that he was Iceman than he ever did as the role of Batman.
Oh, hell no.
You know, I mean, granted, he was the worst Batman, and I don't know if I'd necessarily want to be remembered for that. No. But, and he did look good in Top Gun, too. Or Top Gun, I'm sorry.
Sure.
He did look good in Top Gun. He's like boasting about being Iceman. Have you seen Val Kilmer lately?
Val Kilmer is
That
rough.
is not Iceman. That is Melted Man or something.
Damn! Oh my god! Yeah, that is Slush Man. That is not ice no more. Hell no.
I'm sorry, and I love Top Gun.
Sure,
like, it's one of my absolute all-time favorite '80s movies.
Sure,
and I get a lot of crap from Tyler for it, but I love Top Gun. I've seen it a million times. I can say it word for word. I still hating on Val Kilmer trying to bring himself back as Iceman. I don't know about this movie.
This is my thing with him. Okay, first off, congratulations, Mr. Kilmer. You look a lot better than the last time I saw you, because I thought that motherfucker had some kind of like thyroid problem or something, because he had gained so much fucking weight. It was like ridiculous. Like, his head was so big. I mean, legit. And now that he's lost all the weight, his head still looks big as hell compared to his proportions of his body. But, I mean, so congratulations on that. Good on you. Looks like you're getting your shit together. But, bruh. Like, okay. Who did you say he looked like when I showed you that picture?
Okay, I don't know what the guy's name is, and I guess
and
I should look it up real quick. But the cop from Too Fast, Too Furious that thinks that Paul Walker and Tyrese are running, that's who I said he looks like.
I know the guy. I can see him as clear as day in my head.
I can't for the life of me think of his name either. And so I'm going to look it up.
But yeah, but
see what we can find.
Yeah, DJ Melly Mel said that he looked like that guy.
But everybody knows who I'm talking about.
And this whole like plea,
James Remar.
James Newmar. James Remar.
He played Agent Markham.
Okay, there you go. See, I do not like that movie, so I didn't even know his name in that, like the character's name.
Yeah.
Because when you said that earlier, I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
I couldn't think of it. Agent Markham.
But this motherfucker, okay. Well, the comparison I made it to was, you ever been at a party and there's like someone's grandfather or great uncle or something there, and they're like kind of tipsy and they want to, hang with the younger kids and, be cool or whatever. And a song will come on and people start dancing. You'll be like, oh, that's my jam. Y'all nothing but I still got the moves. I still got it, baby. And I'm like, God, sit your ass down somewhere, Val. Like, he looked goddamn pathetic. Like, okay, so it's from the way the article is worded, I think he painted that Iceman shirt himself. Like, that is not something you can go to Walmart and buy. He made that. Then
course
wore
he
it
did.
and took a selfie in his bathroom.
With his rainbow phone case.
Right. And then didn't even have the good sense to @ Tom Cruise on Twitter. But still.
Probably is not even...
No. Tom Cruise got that motherfucker blocked. He's like, no, hell
He's
no.
like, no.
Unfollow, block, and report.
He's like, I ain't messing with your bullshit.
Yeah, but man,
I'm
he
Tom
looks
motherfucking
so
Cruise.
bad. Like, I'm just like, God. And I almost feel guilty. And I almost feel like Tom has to give him, a part, even if it's like a small part, like, even if he's just on the phone and you never even see him, you just hear his voice or something.
His Skype call.
Because I'm like, look, Val needs some money, man. He out here looking rough as shit. He looked like a goddamn hippie. Like, legit, he looks like a hippie who used to do a lot of acid and mushrooms and shit back in the day, who fast forward 20 years later, that shit has taken a toll on his body, and he is just a wreck.
Be like, how old are you? 62? I'm 30.
Right. Like, oh my God. You look great. Did you lose some weight? Wow, you look good. I don't know what's more sad and depressing, though. The fact that Val Kilmer is basically begging Tom Cruise publicly on Twitter to put him in this movie. And I love how... I almost forgot about this. I love how they said that back in 2016, he was like, just got offered to play Iceman again in Top Gun 2. It's rare that you just get to say yes and not even have to read the script. And they was like, we ain't offered you shit. And he's like, oh, well, maybe I jumped the Top Gun. It's like, yeah. So he's
assuming that he has this role.
This is the scenario. I'm telling you. This is how it went down. This motherfucker heard somebody talking about it, or somebody told somebody that told him that they were making a movie. And in order to try and find a way in, he just goes, well, if I just say I'm in the movie, they won't, deny me, because they're not going to, they'd want to save face and not be like, no, you got to tell them you're not in the movie. So they would just let me in. Right. Pretty much trying to force his way into the movie. And it was like, no. You go tell them motherfuckers that you made that shit up.
Try again.
We ain't offered you a goddamn thing. Like, we ain't even finalized the movie yet. So, hell no. So, I'm like, that's so sad and embarrassing for that man. Because I was like, could you imagine? That'd be like going and telling all your friends. It's like those memes you see where, like, someone's posing in front of a car. And it's like, I just saw one recently. It was a Ferrari. Oh, and this girl was posing in front of it, and it was like, got a new car, and she's like holding her keys, and then they zoom in on the keys, and they're for like a fucking
like a Ford or
Volkswagen
something.
or some shit, and it was like, bitch, goddamn, at least pretend better, like, goddamn.
That reminds me of a girl I used to work with. We got an edible arrangement for the office, and she took all of the little, I guess there was little candies in there that said thank you. She took all the thank you candies out and then took a picture of the edible arrangement in front of her and said, "Oh, look, somebody loves me." Like, it was sent personally to her, and it was sent to the office. I said, really?
I don't get why people do that shit. It's like, why do you need validation from other people so desperately that you will lie and make up shit to make your life?
She was trying to make somebody jealous.
But then again, though, that's all social media really is. When you go through someone's social media page, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, you see all these pictures of them, they laughing and having a great time. They on the beach, they with friends, they partying, the sun shining. That is not their real life.
No.
Not to say that these things don't happen, but this is not an accurate representation of their life. These are small moments picked out that they have chosen to show you. They're not showing you when they're in their sweatpants, doing laundry and shit. You don't see, when they're struggling to pay bills and all that. Only thing you see are the good things.
Sure.
So they give you this false perception of who these people are and what their life is like. But yeah, that's kind of what he's doing. It's like, oh, hey, if I just tell everybody I'm in the movie, then they'll just put me in the movie. And it's like, fuck you. But what I was going to say was, I don't know what's more depressing. The fact that he has to pretend that he's in the movie, or the fact that Tom Cruise still wants to make this goddamn movie. He don't need this. Tom Cruise does not need Top Gun 2. No one is asking for it. Why are we making this? He has money. His divorce from Nicole Kidman and Katie Holmes is way far behind him now. All his shit is paid up, I'm sure, by this point. He don't need to keep making these movies. I think he's just franchise hungry.
I'm sure.
Because...
how many freaking Mission Impossibles are there?
Exactly. I'm like, he's running out of shit on that. the Dark Universe shit didn't take off with the Mummy or whatever. That shit ain't happening. Mark my fucking words. There will not be another Mummy movie. There will not be a Wolfman or a Loch Ness Monster or any of the other bullshit they were talking about doing. Shit ain't happening. No Frankenstein with Javier Bardem. Throw that bullshit out your head. It ain't coming. But Mr. Cruise is bound and determined to get him another franchise. So much so to the point where I've even heard rumors that he has been in talks to play Green Lantern in the DCEU. And I'm like, no! No, which I hope to God he does, if for no other reason, so Ryan Reynolds can make fun of him in Deadpool 3. But still, if for any other reason, I would support it just for that.
No.
But originally, he was supposed to play Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr. said yes. He turned it down. So when they were making the first Iron Man, they wanted Tom Cruise to play Iron Man. I know, it's so weird.
I would have just given up on MCU.
Could you imagine?
Nope.
Could you imagine Tom Cruise with a goatee, though? I can't imagine him with facial hair.
I've seen him in a movie with facial hair.
The Last Samurai. But it's not a goatee. Does he have a goatee? I don't know. Anyway.
No. He was in... Oh, no, he had long hair. That's what it was. He was in that musical Rock of Ages.
Oh,
and he had long hair.
I never saw that. How was he in that?
He actually did well.
Yeah, I was
comparatively to what I was expecting, he did better.
That's the thing. People don't like Tom Cruise as a person, but he's not a bad actor.
No.
I'm like, he's good.
I mean, there's a handful of things that I don't care for of his, but...
Sure.
It's going to be with any actor.
Yeah, I would say, can't have hits all the time.
Unless you're Christian Bale, and then I just hate on everything that you have.
Clearly, yeah. Again, we will find some way to bring Batman into every conversation, so just know that. Well,
when you have a Batman tattoo, Batman's kind of your life,
right? I don't know. I don't know. My first initial gut reaction is to be repelled by this and be like, I don't want to see this. Mm-hmm. Why are you making this? For a multitude of different reasons, but especially just because of how that movie comes off. Because Top Gun is like Jocks the movie. Pretty much, where it's just a bunch of dumbass, cocky motherfucking, like...
I just feel like
they have a whole scene where they play volleyball together.
Yes. Oh my God. And that made it into Cards Against Humanity, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I frequently play. I don't know if you've ever played or if you...
I want to, and my girlfriend desperately wants to.
Okay. Well, then you guys will have to come over and we'll play one night. But there's a card that says... It's one of the white answer cards. And it says homoerotic volleyball montage. And every time I play that card, I swear to God, I think of Top Gun.
As you should. As you should, because that shit is, it's in like slow motion. Yep. These motherfuckers all oiled up and shit. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
I would be willing to put money that the makers of Cards Against Humanity made that card to specifically shot at Top Gun.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, now that I think about it, I think there's only one woman in that entire movie, and it's just all the guys besides that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the chick that Tom Cruise is
No, there's two. There's the pilot instructor, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
And then there is Goose's wife.
Okay.
Which is Meg Ryan.
Much don't count.
And then she isn't in the movie after they kill him off.
Yeah. Well, anywho. So...
Top Gun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I'm like out of words to say. I mean, I don't think. Oh, that's what it was. When I was saying that Top Gun is basically Jocks the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you can make this movie now unless you're going to directly poke fun at these characters and this like overly, masculine testosterone, like Need for Speed, like all that weird shit. It's like, come on, guys. And I swear to God, they're going to be obligated to do it for, callbacks and nostalgia and all that. I don't want them to, but if they say the need, I feel the need for speed, they do that at any point in the movie.
They're going to.
I'm walking out the fucking door.
Oh, you're going to see this in theaters? Wow.
Maybe. Who knows? Hey, maybe this will be the event of the year whenever it comes out. Who knows?
I don't know.
Hey, we could be looking at the beginnings of the new Fast and Furious right now.
Yeah, okay.
Think about that.
No, because Tom Cruise, first of all, isn't even physically compared to Vin Diesel. Second of all, planes are not as relevant as fast cars. No.
Okay, that's sure.
Let's just move on.
All right.
I'm done with it.
All right, moving on. Bing, 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 bing. So Power Rangers is coming back. Okay.
They've been back, but
It's hard to come back when you never really left in the first place.
Don't
Because the
call
Power
it a
Rangers TV
comeback.
show, right, I know. The show has never not been on the air.
right.
The show has continuously aired like new seasons every year.
Don't they get like different
Every
like
few
Power
years,
Rangers,
they revamp
X Force, or Power Rangers? They
Yeah.
get like different names and
I know
different
there's one in
suits and
space.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so the one I grew up on was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
And then there was like Turbo when they had cars, and then there was like Ninja Force and all this shit.
Ninja Force. That's what it was.
And there's ones where they're in space. Back when Harry Potter was popular, they had a magic one. Like legit, they had wands and shit. And like it's so dumb. They had the Power Rangers costumes. They had like little like mini capes on the back, which I guess that meant you were a wizard. If you're a wizard, Harry. Like I don't. So yeah, it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm like, but again, somebody thought, hey, we can capitalize on this and make a movie. Now, Power Rangers is corny and all that shit. And it's probably nostalgia talking right now, but I rather enjoy the original Power Rangers movies, like the first two, the with Ivan Ooze and shit and all that. I like those movies. Like they're dated and dumb and everything else, but if it came on right now, I'd watch it.
Well, it's like watching the Three Ninjas. Did you ever watch?
Yeah. Which one is the one with Hulk Hogan in it?
Race to Witch Mountain.
Yeah,
Or
does it go to
no,
like a theme park or something?
Three Ninjas at Mega Mountain.
Sure.
Witch Mountain's the one with the rock.
The Rock, yeah. But anywho.
But they're at a theme park and he's like supposed to be this icon and he's on TV or something and
Brother!
ends up he's just a big weenie.
Have you seen my steroid needle, brother? Like, no, I haven't, Hulkster. Oh, stop playing. You know that motherfucker ain't 60-some-odd years old and not juicing.
Oh, I know.
Like, come on now. I was like, all these motherfuckers who are anybody over 40 who's like buff as hell, I'm like, he juicing. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. Your body cannot maintain that at that age. Stop pretending you juicing, motherfucker. Maybe not all of them, but I think The Rock's juicing. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah, I said it. Blasphemy.
No.
I think I said it on One Giant Leap for Geeks. Mike C. Squared said that I think The Rock is juicing.
I think you're full of shit. He's just
Look at the picture of him
got
from like
that
10 years ago.
Great. He's just got good genes, okay?
Then where was them jeans at 10 years ago? He is bigger and stronger than he has ever been in his life. It don't work that way.
The man hits the gym all the time.
Oh, bullshit.
Do you not see him on Twitter?
He does. But again, where was all that before when he was, I don't know, a wrestler and not an actor in movies? He don't need to be that big no more. He's bigger now than he was when he was in his prime.
He's visually appealing, okay? Leave the man alone.
And that's fine. But anyway. So, the Power Rangers movie came out, I think in like 2015, the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't do too hot, like, at all. But, no, I'm sorry, not 2015, 2017. So, okay, I'm getting this from AnimeMojo.com. It says, the 2017 Power Rangers film from Lionsgate only managed to gross $142.3 million worldwide. On an estimated budget of $100 million. So they literally made no profit. And this is not an article, but just to kind of give some of you guys context who don't like follow like movie box office and budgets and stuff like that. The reason that this is bad, when a movie has a budget, say we'll just use $100 million as an example. That is for the production costs, all that stuff, paying the actors, the directors, all that jazz, making the movie itself. Then you take that number and you double that because that is the advertising cost. So to do commercials, Super Bowl ads, posters, trailers, all that kind of stuff, they usually spend about what the budget was for the movie in general.
Mm-hmm.
So the budget was really $200 million. 100 to make it, 100 to market.
Sure.
Only making $142 million, you didn't even break even.
No.
So I'm like, and that's worldwide, not just domestically. Fucking Avengers opened at $142 million domestically. So I'm just like, but this ain't Avengers. So that's it's not an apples to apples comparison.
Wasn't it a Michael Bay movie?
No, but it damn sure looked like one. It wasn't, but if you'd have told me that, if it would have came up and said
It would have
from
been
the director
believable.
of Transformers, I'd have been like, yep.
Yep,
I'd have believed that, yep. Mm-hmm. Anyway, when you factor in the cost of marketing revenue, okay, they'll just tell us for you. When you factor in the cost of marketing and revenue sharing with theater chains, the film was a solid failure for Lionsgate. Nevertheless, chatter that there's a sequel in the works remains persistent. After all, the sequel teasingly set up the introduction of the Sixth Ranger, Tommy Oliver. Now, I didn't watch the 2017 Power Rangers reboot, but
I don't
apparently
think I saw it either.
Tommy comes in at the end, the Green Ranger or the White Ranger, Tommy. You know, dude, yeah. Which, if you don't remember the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the best part of that show is once Tommy comes into it, because he was so vocal with his fighting moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody else would kind of be, and he was, it was so funny. He made all these weird sounds. And I was like, does he think he's Bruce Lee? Is that what's going on right now? Oh, could you imagine a White Ranger just like, whoa! Like, what the fuck is happening? It's morphin' time. Whoa! Anyway, the rest of the article goes on to say, whoo, Jesus, my cheeks hurt. We felt the brand was very under-leveraged and undervalued. We feel we can exploit it to a much greater extent, and it was a great opportunity to acquire the brand. The chance that Hasbro, who recently partnered with Paramount Pictures for a TV and film distribution partnership, opts to continue the story begun in the Lionsgate reimagining of the franchise is probably unlikely to occur. Still, stranger things have happened in Hollywood. Earlier reports also stated that toy sales from the film rentals were faring much better than the film itself. Perhaps Hasbro will quickly greenlight a Power Rangers film, not for the movie itself, but for all the ancillary tie-in products that come with it. So maybe not necessarily because they're going to make a bunch of money off the movie, but because all the merchandise and gear that goes with it, you know, t-shirts and all that kind of shit,
and
toys.
When it was everywhere, it seemed to be selling quickly.
Yeah, so I mean, because people still love Power Rangers, because like I said, it never fucking went away. So kids still watch it, parents remember it, so it's like, hey, we're hitting all quadrants, you know, male, female, every age, like we got it all locked down. You know, in theory, they can make the Power Rangers work on the big screen. They just need to find the right balance. Because I know I'm a Marvel bitch. You guys can say it, but you know this to be true. If we can make Infinity War work, you can make anything work if you find the right balance. We got Thanos, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and Iron Man all in one movie, and it all makes sense. They all mesh together. When you see both the characters talking to each other on the screen, there's no moment where you think it's weird when the Winter Soldier picks up Rocket Raccoon and they spin in a circle shooting motherfuckers. At no point did I stop the movie and go, wow, this is fucking stupid. Like, it just worked. And I bought it and I went with it the whole time. If you can find the right balance, you can make Power Rangers work again. Like, it doesn't have to be cheesy. It doesn't have to be dumb. I think where they fucked up with this new one is that they tried to make it, like, super gritty and shit.
Yeah.
Because it was almost like they tried to take, what's the high school movie from back in the day? The Breakfast Club. It's like they took the Breakfast Club, kind of like a Fast and Furious knockoff, and, like, Save the Last Dance and Voltron, and just threw it in a blender and just poured it out and was like Power Rangers. Because they just had all these different feels, because, like, the kids, how they meet in the movie, they're all in detention together. That's where the whole Breakfast Club thing comes in at, and they're all like the outcast kids and shit. And then the Fast and Furious comes in because it's like the one kid is like a race car driver or something shit. It's a whole thing. The movie was dumb and it looked dumb. And from everyone that's told me that has seen it, it's not worth it, and it's not very good. And the special effects are kind of shitty too. But I don't think though that this would be the right jumping off point. If you're gonna continue making Power Rangers movies, scrap this one and start over. Like, I know you just made it in 2017, but if you're going to make another one in 2019, no one's going to give a shit. No one's gonna be like, you just made a Power Ranger. Look, they rebooted Spider-Man after Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming. Deal with it, all right? It's fine.
It's just how it goes.
Because I'm sure you're not going to get all these same actors to come back and do this bullshit again, because they didn't do nothing for their career. So it was like, why would I come back and make another one of these? Like, if anything, this probably hurt my career and shit. They was like, you was in what? Get out. The casting agent's just like, oh, I see your filmography here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Let's say Power Rangers? Yeah, I'm going to have to... Security, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, sir.
We'll give you a call.
Right. He yelling at his secretary. Why you sending this Power Rangers motherfucker in my office? You know I don't deal with this bullshit anyway. So, I mean, if you're going to make another one of these, start over. Like, reboot it from scratch and go from there. And, like, get people who love that original show and people who... make, you know, more contemporary action, sci-fi, superhero type movies and stuff, and, you know, get these people together. And it's not uncommon to have more than one writer on a script. Like, buddy them up and say, like, hey, y'all go hash out a script. You take the best things about Power Rangers and what made people like it in the first place and make it palatable to an audience today. Like, we're not going to cater to kids. We're not catering to the adults who remember the old show. We have to make it its own thing and make it cool by today's standards.
Right.
I think it can be done. I don't know if they'll do it, but it can be done, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, so get excited, kids, because we got more Power Rangers toys coming. No one gives a fuck about the movie, apparently, but those toys are going to be dope as shit, so you just wait.
I really hope that by the time I have kids, that the whole Power Rangers are done and gone. Because I have the Power Rangers video game for Sega downstairs.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm like...
that game is actually really fun.
Yeah...
Oh, for Sega, it was pretty
Sega?
good.
Yeah.
What did Sega have? Fucking Sonic and that. Like, no, but they had the Batman games on Sega, so.
Yeah. And then they switched over to Nintendo, so. That Val Kilmer Batman made it onto Super Nintendo.
Oh, God. Yeah, he did. Oh, God.
I have both of those, too.
You know what I really hate about that? Quick sidebar. What I really hate about that goddamn Joel Schumacher Batman movies is I hate that theme song. You remember how it goes? The bam, 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 bam. I hate that fucking theme song. I'm used to the original, like, Tim Burton movies, you know, theme song. That's my Batman. When I think of Batman in my mind, that's the song that I hear. I do like the Adam West Batman theme song as well, but the Danny Elfman, like, dark Batman, that is the Batman theme I think of. But yeah, that it was like, oh, what is this? Like, it sounded corny as hell. Anyway, enough bat talk is over.
Need something to get Dad for Father's Day? Get some high-quality designer headphones from Studio. Studio is a Swedish lifestyle and earphone specialist. The company, founded in 2012, is named after the Phil Collins song, Studio, after one of the founders bumped into the singer while he was trying to untangle his headphones. The Vasa Blue are stylish earbuds that produce exemplary sound that have a natural bass and studio sound quality. They are made with a composite aluminum housing and have a high-polished rose gold metal finish. They weigh a mere 23 grams and feature a convenient anti-tangle cord, which is perfect for those of you, like me, DJ Mellimo, who are always having this trouble. No matter if you're an Apple or Android fan, they have earbuds compatible for both. You can get them in 4 chic colors: black, blue, white, or pink. And these earbuds come with 4 different size comfort sleeves to customize your fit. An owner's manual, a leather carrying case, a metal clip, and individual quality assurance card. Now, do yourself a favor and head over to studio.com, that's SUDIO.com, again, SUDIO, and come check out the Vasa for yourself. There's also a great variety of other headphones and speakers to choose from. Plus, if you tell them that we sent you, you'll receive 15% off your purchase. Just use the code LEAP4GEEKS at checkout. That code again is LEAP4GEEKS, all one word, to get your 15% off your order. And they'll know that we sent you.
Okay, so, as usual, we try to give a little bit of sweet and salty here at One Giant Leap for Geeks. So you get the sweet, you get the comedy, and now you're about to get the salty. So,
I have to prepare myself.
So I'm going to give you guys the information dump first, then we'll talk about it. Okay. So I'm getting this from Variety.com. It says, Active Shooter comes out on June 6th and calls itself a dynamic SWAT simulator, where the player can be either a SWAT team member or the shooter. Developer Revived Games also plans to release a civilian survival mode where the player takes on the role of a civilian during a shooting. A disclaimer on the game's Steam page reads, "Please do not take any of this seriously. This is only meant to be a simulation and nothing else. If you feel like hurting someone or people around you, please seek help from local psychiatrists or dial 911 or applicable. Thank you."
Okay, first off, this is not starting well.
Oh yeah, no, it's bad. I'm almost done. It says Revive Games addressed the issue in a Steam post on Thursday, saying Active Shooter doesn't promote violence, especially mass shootings. While I can see people's anger and why this might be a bad idea for the game, I still feel like this topic should be left alone. They said, while pointing out that Valve allows other infamously violent games on its storefront like Hatred, Postal, and Carmageddon. Now, real quick, I have never played any of those, or I've only played one of those three games. I've played Postal. Okay, so Postal is kind of like loosely based off of, I don't remember when this happened, but do you remember years and years ago now, the person that worked for the post office that went crazy and shot a bunch of people? Okay, that's what that, yeah.
Kind of figured.
Okay. Where the term going postal comes from, kids.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, so these games that they reference, Postal and Carmageddon and stuff. Carmageddon is basically like a Grand Theft Auto, you know, from back in the day. You raced cars and you could hit and kill people and stuff. That's fine. The Postal game, you were killing random people and stuff like that. That's fine too. I have no problem with senseless violence at all. Killing random people, running them over, stabbing them, shooting them, setting them on fire. It's hilarious. It's fun to do. That's why there's so many games about killing people, because we enjoy it. We're a fucked up species. Sorry. But I cannot condone a game whose whole point is to specifically simulate someone shooting up a office building and or a school. Like, I cannot condone that in good conscience. Now, am I saying that the game shouldn't be made? Not necessarily. Am I saying that it shouldn't be available to people? Not necessarily. But as a parent and as a human being with a conscience and a heart, I don't feel that you should be trying to exploit the deaths of children in video games.
No, I agree. You told me about this, and when you sent me the show notes this week, I had to look it up. And I'm like, why on earth would why would that be a concept that somebody, you know, a bunch of people sitting around a boardroom would be like, hey, you know what? We need to make a new game. Let's make a mass shooting game.
Now, but see, they make it a point to say it's a SWAT team, you know,
but it's not
simulator. And I'm like, no, it's just because you can play as a SWAT team does not make it a SWAT team simulator.
You can make a game for a SWAT team simulator and have a SWAT team come in for a boatload of other reasons. Other than an active shooter in a school. Yeah,
and that's my thing. You could have made the game about a raid or a hostage situation.
Sure.
Anything like that.
Taking down a drug dealer.
Yeah, and no one would have gave a shit.
No.
But for you to make it a point to be like, oh, we're going to make an active shooter game, especially in the political climate that we're in. Why?
Yeah, no.
It's almost like you're purposefully trying to be controversial for attention.
Yeah.
It's going like, hey, I know if we stir up some shit, this will get people, even if they don't play the game, people will download it just to talk about it.
Is good publicity, basically.
Which I have never agreed with that statement, but sure. I was like, but I mean, hey, look, Mel Gibson found a way to become, working again after he said all that pack of niggers shit and all that anti-Semitic shit. But hey, I guess all press is good press. Who knows?
I guess.
My thing with this is literally, and this is the correct use of the word, kids, for all you guys that say literally for shit that isn't really literal. This is literally the shit that politicians and, people like that who are, trying to blame mass shootings on anything but, gun violence. This is the kind of shit that they're talking about, that they say about games, about how, you get points for killing people and torturing them, this and the other. I was like, I don't know what the fuck game you're playing. I've never got
Apparently they're playing the pre-release of this.
You're right, of active shooter,
Active shooter.
But it would be like the poster child for things that they are describing, like, oh, these games are making your kids crazy, this and the other. It's like, this is a perfect example of that. You are giving them the ammunition that they need to justify blaming video games for people making bad decisions.
Yeah, I think if I had kids, this would definitely one that would be blacklisted. Yeah. I'm not just to the point of, I'm not going to buy you that, but Timmy gets, his own birthday money and he gets free reign of the store. No. This is not something that my kid is going to play.
No, and I mean, honestly, what really made me mad about it is for them to try and acknowledge, like, yes, well, I could see why this may upset some people and make some people mad and this, that, and the other and blah, 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 blah. And then they immediately go into the whataboutisms. And it's like, oh, well, what about Carmageddon and Postal and this, that, and the other? And it's like, what about them games? None of them games are taking something that even if you don't...
You're not shooting kids.
Right, even if you quote-unquote don't mean it this way, anyone who sees that game, it is going to be implied that it's a school shooting or an office building shooting. It's like...
Yeah.
Especially in this country, people are like really on edge about this kind of shit. I mean, from the Vegas shooting to the Florida shooting to the Texas shooting. Like, it's morally bankrupt to be like, we know that we're going to align ourselves with these tragedies to try and get attention on our product. Sure. And it's like, sure, maybe it does work this time. This one time, maybe you sell a lot of units, a lot of people hear about your company, this, that, and the other, but now you will be forever associated with this game. And who's to say that down the road you won't, as a developer, be blacklisted from Steam and aren't allowed to make games on Steam anymore? Who's to say that you'll ever get hired by another video game developer that's not an independent company, that's a bigger one? They're like, yeah, well, we can't bring the dude that made Active Shooter over here.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It's
that's...
There's just some shit, and it's like, I'm not trying to step on anybody's First Amendment rights. I'm not trying to say your creativity is not valid. All that shit's fine and dandy, but don't do this. Like, just don't. Now, in the article, I don't think I actually got to it, but they did say that they were thinking about possibly pulling the game from Steam or changing something about it and like taking out the shooter portion. So you can just be either the SWAT team or possibly in the DLC, you can be a civilian running from your life trying not to get murdered by somebody shooting up the hallways.
No.
Like that.
I think they should just pull the plug on the whole thing. I really do.
Yes.
The more I looked into it, the more I've heard you talk about it, the more we've discussed it. It's just a bad idea all around.
Agreed.
I don't think that this would be a win for video games anywhere.
No.
To our listeners in the other countries, America comes up with a lot of stupid stuff.
It's true. Like this show.
But this would be a very bad idea. And for somebody not to say, hey, this is a bad idea, we're not going to publish this, that would probably set them up for a lifetime of failure.
Yeah, because I don't know what it's like in other countries. Like, you know, I know like some countries that deal with like terrorist attacks and stuff a lot like that. Like, I don't know how this would play overseas, but I just know to the audience that you're trying to market it to, like,
No.
man, you'd have had probably better time selling the game about giving people AIDS and not telling them. You know, it's like that's pretty fucking horrible too. But I don't know, like,
You can't bring kids into it.
yeah, and I mean, now, to be fair to the game, we don't know for certain, and I don't think that there's actually children in the game. I think they're all adults. But still, you're modeling the interior hallways to look like a school or an office building or some shit like that. Even if it's not kids, it's like, even if it's just all adults that you're killing, it's like mass shooting is not, you know, not something that should be glorified in any way, shape, or form, or made to look cool in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. So, I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily feel like I don't necessarily feel like we should tell people like, hey, you can only make games about this, and this subject, and you can't touch this other stuff.
Sure.
But
this is a no-no.
Would be, no. It's like, yeah, you don't need something written in stone saying, hey, don't do this. You would just think as a person, you'd be like, you know what? No. Because I could already see how this is going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, man, Steam is probably going to end up pulling this shit if it gets enough publicity and enough bad, you know, word of mouth about it. Steam will be like, all right, we just don't want the drama. I mean, they've had controversial games on there before that people have said that they wanted them to take down and they didn't. But in this instance, I think they would fold under the pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, guys, if you just want to see the video game industry just completely destroyed, keep doing this kind of dumb shit, because this is the road that we go down. This is the road that leads to the government coming in and saying what you can and cannot create. Mm-hmm. And we are going to get less fun games in the future because of it. So thanks, assholes. Anyway, I don't want to dedicate any more time to that, because
we've
that shit
enough.
makes my blood boil. Like,
yeah, it does. It really does.
Anywho, so okay, The Crow. Okay, The Crow has been in like development hell for probably a few decades now, to be honest. The original movie with Brandon Lee came out in the early 90s. It's actually a good movie. If you haven't seen The Crow,
like The Crow,
go out and see The Crow. Do not see the sequels to The Crow. Don't see the Edward Furlong Crow or anything else. Those movies are just shit. But the original movie is pretty good. It's dated. It's kind of corny in spots. Like, the two dudes, the fire it up dudes, like, I don't...
It wouldn't have a place on our show if it wasn't dated and corny.
Sure, right, just like us.
I would say that seems to be our theme here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dated and corny. And you know what? Fuck y'all, because it works.
Yeah. I mean, still keep listening.
Yeah, no. I don't want to scare anybody away, but any of the haters.
Right. And please, go to our Patreon, which doesn't exist, but please keep listening. But yeah, so... All right, so I'm getting this from comicbookmovie.com. It says, apparently Sony, who announced a release date of October 11th of 2019, so it was going to come around Halloween time.
Okay.
Last September, was already close to exiting as the Crow's worldwide distributor due to creative and financial differences. I read that really weird. Basically, they were saying that Sony, when they announced it back then, were already close to pulling out of distributing the movie. Anyway, creative and financial differences with Samuel Hadida, whose Davis Films holds the rights to the character and who was financing it. His inability to close a deal with Sony Pictures caused problems for the studio, and that ultimately led to the exits of its director and star, Jason Momoa. It says, what becomes of it now remains to be seen, but this isn't good, and it's the second time the movie has stalled after losing a director. Based on James O'Barr's graphic novel, The Crow was previously adapted by Alex Proyas and starred Brandon Lee, who ended up dying on set. And if you didn't know that little fun fact, Brandon Lee, who was Bruce Lee's son, unfortunately died filming that movie. Do you remember the scene in The Crow where he comes to like the hideout of like all the mafia people or the drug dealers and all that. And he stands on the table and they all get up and shoot him.
Yep.
That scene.
Yep. Somebody actually put a real bullet in. But that's what it was, right? They put a real bullet in there?
I don't think they put one. I think that one somehow got in with the blanks. Because they have blanks that they use in the movies, but a real bullet somehow got mixed in and he got shot and killed. And I was like, fuck. Like, could you imagine of all the guns that were shooting in all the directions, of all the ones that could have potentially missed him, the one that was a real bullet hit him and killed him? It's like, Jesus. Like, was y'all pointing at his fucking head?
There was a conspiracy that...
Yeah, conspiracy theory that
somebody said that they wanted Brandon Lee dead.
Yeah.
And so they knew which prop was going to be pointed at him for the scene.
Maybe. Because there was a conspiracy.
Sure that there was a live bullet.
Yeah, because there was a conspiracy theory that Bruce Lee was killed by, some kind of shady circumstances. And, it's kind of questionable how he died as well. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, not, but fuck if they did. But anyway, yeah. So this movie was in the works for a while. It lost the director once before. It finally got a new director. Jason Momoa, oddly enough, has been signed on to play this character.
Yeah, I don't know how he ended up there.
Yeah, but after this last director left, he was just like, fuck it, I'm done.
Nope, I don't want my name attached to this stank.
Yep. He's like, I'm done with this shit. So, okay. Jason Momoa would not be my choice to play the Crow. To be honest, Jason Momoa would be my choice to play anything. But I'm just a Momoa hater. I know you love the Momoa.
Momoa is your Bale.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he's my Christian Bale. There you go. I just don't think he's a good actor. Not that he doesn't have screen presence, because he does. I think, he's a handsome man. He looks like he could be a movie star. I just don't think he has the range to play. Okay.
Maybe he should just stick to superheroes and call it good.
Yeah, and shit, Conan and all that bullshit.
Right.
Could you see Jason Momoa crying in a movie? Like,
no.
A genuine, like, somber...
No.
And I don't mean looking into the sky screaming with your wife's dead body. No! Like that, not that kind of cry. But, like a emotional thing. Because in the original Crow movie, Brandon Lee had to go through, like, a lot of different emotions. He had to be... In the beginning, when he gets brought back from the dead. Because basically... For those of you who don't know, I should have explained this at the beginning. How the Crow story goes is there's a rock singer and his girlfriend who are about to get married. No, they just got married on Halloween, and it was their honeymoon.
Yep.
And the gangs were trying to get them evicted from this apartment so they could use it for whatever the fuck. I don't know what. I never remembered what the building, why they wanted it.
I don't remember either.
Anyway, they come in. They won't move out. They've been like bullying them for a while, trying to intimidate them to get them to leave. Finally, they break in. And they end up drugging him and his girlfriend. They rape her, and then they kill him and her. The Crow...
Very PG.
Yeah, I know. It did. The movie's dark as shit. The Crow comes and wakes him and brings him back to life, and he's imbued with the power of the Crow. Now, crows don't have fucking powers and shit, but whatever. We'll just go with it. But basically, he can see through the Crow. He can see what the Crow sees, and he can use that as kind of like a drone, basically, pretty much, because it can go all over the place and show him shit that's going on. He can see past events and memories that people have had by touching them. He can't be killed as long as the Crow is still alive, but if you kill the Crow, he can die.
Then he can die.
But anyway, so he goes through all these confused emotions and stuff when he first gets brought back to life, because he doesn't remember dying at first. So when the Crow brings him back to life, he's digging himself out of his casket, and he's like freaked out, and he's like, where am I? He's tripping. He makes it back to his apartment, and he slowly starts to piece together what happened, and that he's dead and he's been brought back. And then he puts on the all black and gets the face paint out and does the whole thing. So Jason Momoa was set up to be this character, and I don't think that he would have worked with that, because I don't think he could have played that confused, afraid emotion. I don't think he could play, sad and heartfelt tears and all that. Like, I just wouldn't buy it from him. It would just come off as kind of fake. I mean, fakey. I will say this. I need to see this Aquaman bullshit before I sign off on anything else with Jason Momoa in it. Because I don't like him in Conan. I didn't like him in Justice League. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I don't watch Game of Thrones either.
But as far as the shit that I have seen him in, yeah, I got to see this Aquaman movie before I can co-sign anything else that he's in.
I don't remember if I saw Conan or not.
If you didn't, you're better for it. Just because it ain't that great.
I don't
There's a lot of
remember.
titties in it, I think. Was that movie rated R? Yeah, I think so. But it's not a good movie, though.
I think a friend of mine wanted me to watch Conan, and I don't remember if I actually watched it or if I...
If you're going to watch Conan, go watch the original.
Well, I've seen the original.
Yeah, just watch it again.
But I don't know if I've seen the remake.
Just watch it again and pretend. No, what I'll do is I'll just edit Jason Momoa's head onto Arnold Schwarzenegger's body through the whole movie, and then he'll still have Arnold's voice. His lips won't move. I can't animate it or anything. It'll just be a picture of Jason Momoa over his head. So there you go. But yeah, I saw the Jason Momoa Conan. The movie was great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it for some reason.
I think I'm with you though. I think I have to see Aquaman and how that comes out and how that plays out to really kind of judge. Because I know like some of his early movies and smaller roles, you can't really judge.
Yeah. Well,
if it came out in the 90s, you can't really judge how that is now.
No, sure. No, because I mean,
we're talking 20, 30 years ago.
And don't get me wrong, the actors grow and mature and they get better at their craft. Sure. And he just don't seem to me, he seems to me like he'd rather go to the gym than hone his acting skills. You know what I'm saying? And no offense to, hey, do your thing, man. It's like, hey, he's more successful and rich than I will ever be. So, hey, do your thing, man. But I just don't think he has the chops for it. I mean, at this rate, with the director leaving and Jason Momoa leaving, I don't think we're going to get a Crow movie anytime soon.
Probably
if they
not.
ever remake it. But I was curious. Since Momoa is out, who would you like to see play the Crow? Like someone who's working today. You can't pick somebody from the past. Right. And go like, oh, George Clooney would have been a great Crow. I mean, I don't know why him, but
I got what you.
But someone current, like fairly young, but not too young. So like maybe 20s, 30s, something like that. Because, and while you're thinking, I'll keep, going so they don't listen to our silence. But I think why they picked Jason Momoa is because they were going to try and make it more action heavy this time.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
I can kind of see that.
I'm like, you don't need some big buff giant dude. Brandon Lee was a small frame.
Sure.
Like he could handle himself and shit, but he wasn't this big hulking dude. Like,
yeah. Could
you imagine Jason Momoa wearing that tight ass black leather shit that he was wearing? Like he'd be spilling out of that shit.
No.
I have one.
All right.
If you still need time.
Hit me. Who you got?
Now, I don't know if you'll know him by name. And even when I explain what he's been in, if you haven't seen it, you won't know who I'm talking about. Dane DeHaan.
What's he been in?
Did you see Chronicle?
No.
You haven't seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's the villain in that. He plays Harry Osborn in that.
Okay. Okay.
You probably didn't see Valerian in A City of a Thousand Planets or whatever.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
but
God.
I did see the trailer for Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah.
So I saw the kid that played Harry.
Hey, I'm trying to Google a picture of him real quick so you can see who I'm talking about. This is Mr. DeHaan. That's Dane DeHaan.
Okay.
And the reason I pick him is because I know he can play like a broken, like outcasted kid and shit. Like I could see him totally painting his face white and putting on black lipstick and all black leather and killing motherfuckers. Like I could see him doing that. Now he's not overly intimidating or anything like that, but he doesn't need to be. I mean, you put that Crow makeup on his ass and give him some longer hair, I'd buy it. I'm like, he wouldn't look any different than Brandon Lee did.
Sure.
But I have a backup too if you don't have one yet. I'm just going to go down my list of all the people I want to play the Crow.
I think I have
Okay.
an idea, but tell me your other one because I want to.
Tom Hardy, no. That's just as bad as Momoa. Now, Hardy is a much better actor, but no, he's too rough and tumble to play that character. That's the whole thing. He has to be unassuming and not non-threatening before he becomes the Crow.
Right.
That's why when he comes back, it's like, oh shit, isn't that dude that we raped this girl and threw him out the fucking window and shit. But anywho, my secondary pick would be probably. What is that kid's name? This is going to be a real unorthodox pick, but the kid from that cancer movie with Shailene Woodley, where she has the oxygen tank the whole time, and the other kid has cancer. I can't think of what it's called. If you know the name of this guy, tweet it at me, but that kid.
I know, yeah, I can.
I could see him playing it too. He was in Baby Driver too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I could see him being the Crow. But those are my two picks. And you don't have to pick two.
No,
I just need one.
The kid that plays in Gotham as Bruce.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
David Mazouz, Mazouz.
Sure.
I could kind of see. You put some crazy makeup and
sure,
some long hair
I
on
could
that
see
kid.
it. Yeah, I could see it. I would think he'd need to be a little bit older though, don't you? Because that kid looks young still, and isn't?
I mean, if he fattens up for the role, he'd make it.
Sure.
You could do anything with makeup.
True. That is true. Yeah, I would say he'd be in face paint and all that shit. I don't know, man. Regardless of who they end up getting to play the Crow, if they ever make this damn movie, I'm just glad it's not Momoa. Because after seeing the shit that they pulled with him with Aquaman, could you imagine the Crow coming out, saying, yeah, or what was that other line? He said, my man, yeah. It's like, get the fuck out of here, my man, the Crow. Look, he gonna break out of his casket like, yeah. He gonna go look at the Crow. It's gonna be like, he gonna be like, my man. It's like, it's so, yeah.
No.
Anyway, moving on. It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where you submit your findings of dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right. We had quite a few submissions this week. Let me see. 2, 4, 6, 7?
Oh, wow, we had some good ones.
We had 6, and then my own. So yeah, we had 7 this week. One of them. The first one. We're gonna just go in order. First one is ex-MMA fighter versus Swans. Now this comes to us from Famous Seamus of Chewed Gum, and you can find him at Chewed Gum Pod on Twitter. And he said, I don't know if it was this week, but this is a dumb ex-amateur MMA fighter, and he was caught kicking geese to death.
Head kicking
geese to death in a park. So Rocco Joseph Mantella, 34, also known as Rocky from his wrestling and MMA days. Really? We couldn't get any better of a name than that. Anyways, not important. He was allegedly seen laughing as he looked to be practicing karate moves on defenseless birds at the Lake Eola Park in Orlando, Florida. One witness claimed that they observed Mantella practicing karate and kicking 2 swans in the head and then another in the backside. The witness stated that the alleged kicks were as hard as possible, which resulted in one swan collapsing to the ground. This witness claimed that Rocky also kicked a small duckling, which appeared to be sleeping.
That dude is a piece of fucking work. I mean, this is me, and I don't...
First of all, have you ever been near ducks and swans?
Never swans,
okay,
but ducks, sure.
Geese, ducks,
sure.
Swans, birds of some waterfowl.
Sure.
They're not nice.
No.
For him to get close enough to these things, to kick them forcefully.
Well, I mean, they probably was scared of him because they was like, well, if this crazy motherfucker just gonna walk up on us like that, he must be dangerous. Like, if he just if he ain't got food in his hand, he must be crazy or something.
When I went to college, we had a little park across from the college, across the street. And there was a man-made little puddle pond in the middle. And I swear to God that these geese that ran this pond used to chase us away.
Oh, yeah.
Even when we had food.
Yeah, they get territorial.
So for him to come up and ninja kick a freaking goose, I'm like...
It was a public park, so they're probably used to humans being around all the time. They're probably used to humans coming up and feeding them. So they probably assumed, they've been domesticated to some degree, and they just assumed, okay, it's a human. When humans come over here, they either want to pet us or give us some food or both. Mm-hmm. So they probably thought, oh, okay, it's cool, until he fucking scissor kicks. Right. Get your jaw! Tommy scissor kicks one of them motherfuckers in the fucking head and shit. So yeah, man, that shit was fucked up. I did laugh when I read this story.
God.
I don't condone animal cruelty or no shit like that.
By any means, but that's hilarious.
By no means, but just imagine just somebody kicking a fucking swan in the head. Like, oh my God. Because they got them long ass necks and shit.
And then kicking one in the behind.
No, I know that cracked me up the way they worded it. I'm like, you could have just said in the backside. I think is what it said. I was like, really? But I wonder if the two swans were doing that thing where they're making love. Not making love, but they do the things that swans do where they wrap their necks around each other, and he came in there, bah! That's fucked up. But anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't have any words. What possesses somebody to come up to some birds and be like, yeah, so hiya!
I love how he starts off with a conversation. So, how's tricks? Bah! What the fuck?
Right? What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. Thank you, Seamus.
Yeah.
Once again, providing us with a great laugh. The second submission this week comes from #NoOffenseShow, and you can find them on Twitter at HTNOS. They sent us 3 submissions, so they were quite busy this week. The first one, or their first tweet said...
Whoa. Explain the tweet that they sent.
Okay, so they sent us a tweet, and it says, we do a weekly segment called WTF, or Welcome to Florida. Y'all was thinking something else. And where we love to poke fun at ourselves. So... their whole basis is making fun of things that have happened in Florida.
Which Florida is if for those of you outside of the U.S. that may not know, Florida is our nation's capital of dumb shit. I swear to God, because all the craziest shit that you hear, stories coming out of the U.S., it probably happened in Florida. That dude who turned into a fucking zombie and ate that other dude's face.
Florida.
These next 3, Florida.
Okay, so the first one, a Florida man impersonates a Saudi prince for decades, cheating investors out of millions of dollars. Before I continue, I just want to say props to this guy. If he wants to put my name as a, how you wiggle around debt collectors and, that you just used a Saudi prince. Kudos to you. Mm-hmm. But not so much because you got caught. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Anthony Gignac.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to say that. Gignac, sure.
We're going to go with that. Anthony Gignac, who has 5 aliases, including Khalid Al-Soud.
Pause real quick. When I was first reading this, the first thing that came into my head when I saw this person's name, I was like, DJ Khaled!
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw, too. he pled guilty to identity theft and fraud after living a lavish lifestyle. Gignac has pretended to be a Saudi royal for decades. Decades.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has reportedly been charged for numerous times. He will now face 20 years in prison.
Now, real quick about that last part. He has reportedly been charged numerous times. So then they've caught him doing this shit in the past.
Yeah.
And y'all didn't put his ass in prison back then?
Apparently not.
Clearly he ain't learned shit, or if he did learn anything, just he learned how to be better at it, I guess. Because I'm like, there was, and I didn't put this in, but in the article itself that I was reading about this story, it said that he recently got, or like right before he got arrested, got an investor to invest in some kind of real estate project or something he was doing.
Okay.
One investor gave him $5 million.
Shit. Can we have an investor like that?
Right, I know. Thank you to our friends over at Studio.
Yes.
But I'm like, that you could just stop right then. As soon as you had that $5 million, I'd have been done and just washed my hands.
You got it.
Like, this motherfucker was globe-trotting, going all over the world with fake passports. He had like...
That's how you get caught.
Yeah, see, he was doing too damn much. It's like, look, not to say we don't condone, fraudulent activities here at One Giant Leap for Geeks, but if you're gonna do it, think small. Or think big, but do it once and then pull out. Get what you can get and be done. Because the longer you do it, the more you increase your chances of getting caught.
You got it.
You become complacent. You get sloppy. You start fucking up. Like, just do what you got to do. Get in and get out. You can't make a living off this shit. Like, this should just be, hey, I gonna do this one big... Like, think of it like if you went to Vegas and won a whole bunch of money on the crap table. Like, just take it and leave the table. Don't bet it again. Just go with what you got.
They have so many people in the casinos that don't do that, though.
Oh God!
I mean, I've seen people win $15,000, play it all down, hit another jackpot, which is crazy lucky, anyways. So they were playing a slot machine, and then play it all down again. And I'm like, I'd have stopped after I'm one of these people that if I win $25 at a casino, I'm done.
We go home.
Look. I'm good.
Finish that drink, eat your food, we done.
Right.
We go home.
You know, if I'm winning 100, I'm cashing out. There's no more. And I'm not coming back to the casino tomorrow. Like months after.
And it was almost like God was trying to help that person too. It was like, hey, you hit your 15,000. We know you burned through it. I'm going to go ahead and bless you with something else. Oh, thank you. I want to put 25 on, like, right. Oh my God.
No. So,
yeah.
For this guy to continuously be getting caught, I don't know.
Yeah, I blame the police at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one other thing. Not only did he have fake passports, 5 different aliases, was like staying at hotels, and had credit cards under real Saudi, royalty names. Like,
sure.
These are actual people.
Sure, yeah. He didn't just pick up a name out.
Yeah, he didn't just make up DJ Khaled or whatever.
No.
But,
no, he picked up a real person, a real name, got their...
Which was dumb because, I mean, I guess it lends more credibility. There we go. Thank you. To the con, but at the same time... You run the risk of that actual person coming across like, hey, someone has a credit card in your name and they use it as such and such. Like, that's probably how he got caught.
Probably.
But he also had fake diplomatic immunity cards. So he was out here just living life like he didn't give a fuck. Like, he could have went and fucked 10 prostitutes and killed 3 of them and be like, diplomatic immunity. For all you Lethal Weapon fans out there, if you remember that line. It's just been revoked. I'm like, all right. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, because we got Gignac is one for the ages though. That dude was living life.
Yeah. I don't know. So also brought to us by the No Offense Show, a Florida woman shaves her legs in a public pool. Okay. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm like, bitch, ain't you got a bathtub at the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so this woman is at a public pool. There's a photo and a video, and you can see children running around, splashing around on a hot day, people in the pool with her.
Broad daylight.
Broad daylight, yeah. It's not like it's dark and shady. No, it's the middle of the day.
I think it's like at a hotel or something. I think it's a hotel.
Yeah, I think it was a hotel pool.
So, yeah, it wasn't like at her house and she had friends over.
No,
it was
no.
Public
it was a public
pool.
place.
Yeah.
And she's sitting on the side of the pool with a razor, like a Bic razor, to buy a package of 10 of them from the dollar store. Mm-hmm. And she's sitting there shaving her legs and then rinsing the razor in the pool. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm one that sometimes I will just randomly shave my legs if I notice that they're bad.
Sure.
I've never shaved them while sitting on the side of a pool. Especially if it is at a hotel.
This is okay.
Come on.
There's so many things wrong with this on so many different levels. So for one, why would you do that? Like, just on a sanitary level, why would you ever fucking do that? That's disgusting. Yeah, they probably had to close that pool for the day
and
clean that shit out. Yeah.
Yep, you got it.
And if I was that fucking hotel, I would charge that bitch for that shit to their fucking credit card, and I'd be like, you can never stay here fucking again. But so the sanitation reasons alone is like, ugh. Mm-hmm. Two, have you no shame? It's like
it didn't look like she did.
It's like the bitch could have got in the water and been like waist deep and just been doing it on the low, on the sneak. Like, what you doing? Oh, my foot itches. She could have been doing it in the water and nobody would probably even
honestly knew. I think if she'd have been in the water and people had seen like her arm moving up and down.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, she doing some really nasty
people would be
shit.
like, you're masturbating in a public pool.
Right, they're like, all right, kids, come on, we're going. We're leaving the pool.
And then they still would have shut down the pool and cleaned it.
Right, either way, yeah. So I guess it was a lose-lose no matter what. But then the other thing is, there's children playing in this pool. Like, I don't know if her kids were there. Yeah, right. And they're like, in like the pictures in the video, you can see the kids screaming and running out, getting out of the pool and this, that, and the other. And it's like, so you finna sit your ass on the side of the fucking pool, shave your legs in the water, and run everybody out of the fucking pool. And so you just sitting there by yourself, shaving your fucking legs in broad fucking daylight.
Bathtub.
It's like, oh, you trifling bitch. Mm-mm. And she didn't even have the decency to bring shaving cream and shit. So I hope she get razor bumps all up and down her shit. And I hope she cut the fuck out of herself and everything else. But yeah, if you can't tell, I feel some type of way about that shit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. The third and final submission from #NoOffenseShow was a Florida woman named Crystal Methvin. Now, if her name doesn't give you some kind of crazy feels already, then the rest of this will. Crystal Methvin was arrested for meth.
Surprise!
Along with a Florida man, Douglas Nickerson.
Which his name was weird too, but I was just like, whatever.
Whatever. Crystal is a bit of a legend in the area. This is roughly her 16th drug charge in St. Johns County. Roughly. Uh-huh. So that means give or take a few.
Right. There was like 16, 30. Who's counting, right? After 10, I just said, fuck it.
Okay. Stop doing the meth. Mm-hmm. I understand that meth is in your name, but it doesn't have to be a part of you. It'll be okay.
Now, if you've seen the mugshot of this woman, go Google Crystal Methvin and see, even just saying it still sounds like it's a new version of meth. Like,
right.
Google Crystal Methvin, it'll get you high as shit, but no. And see her mugshot. Like, clearly, I don't think this woman had the means or the, mental capacity to think, hey, I should go change my name to Crystal Methvin.
I was going to say, her parents must have had a sick, twisted sense of
because I'm like, I don't think that she named herself Methvin. I'm pretty sure that's her last name, but her parents, the fact they named her Crystal is kind of shitty. But the best part about it is that you would think, okay, I won't say my last name on the show.
Sure.
But let's just say it doesn't rhyme with, but it has a similar name to a popular snack. Okay. And when I was young, I would not touch these snacks because I did not want people associating me with that thing because my last name sounded similar to it. So I would never be caught with them in public at all. Now as an adult, I can give a fuck. But I was like, I wish you would call me that shit. I'd beat your ass. But back then I would stay far away from that shit. So you would think that her name is Crystal Methvin, that the last thing she'd ever want to be associated with is meth.
Yeah.
And this is, her 16th drug charge. So how many of those are meth related? Who knows? But when I did say that guy's name was funny, Douglas Nickerson, the first thing that I thought when I saw their names together is if I was a cop, because they were arrested together, if I was a cop, I'd have been like, oh, looks like you got some meth in your knickers. That'll be the one and only pun you'll probably ever hear me make on One Giant Leap for Geeks, but there you go. Anyway, go ahead.
So Crystal Methvin in Florida.
Okay.
Stop doing the meth.
Yes.
Please. Because...
Or don't. I mean, we need more dumb shit of the week. So.
Sure,
We could always use more, Crystal.
You cross my desk again, we'll see.
Right, there you go.
Moving on. So this next submission was sent to us by Amber Renee, and you can find her on Twitter, Amber Renee 0327. And her tweet was regarding the Cooper Hill cheese rolling event. Over 40 contests a year are held in attempt to chase a rolling cheese wheel down a hill.
I fucked that up. I'm sorry. It was contestants.
Oh.
Not contests. I fucked
that makes
that was
more
my
sense.
bad. Yeah, because when you read it, I was like, that sounds weird.
40 contestants attempt to chase a rolling cheese wheel down a hill. Okay. Why would you want to roll cheese down a hill? You would think that would ruin the cheese?
I don't know.
Okay. No one knows where this originated, and many think it started in the 1800s to celebrate the coming of spring and a fresh batch of crops.
See, so there you go. That answers your question. It was back when they literally had nothing else better to do. Literally nothing else better to do.
Let's season our cheese with some dirt here.
Right.
Some grass.
Hey, look, that was probably the funnest thing that they have ever come up with during the 1800s, because it's either that or watch the fucking candle wax melt. So it's like,
you can
get
pretty creative with watching melting candle wax. Like, you can see which way it can burn, and we're not going to go into how I know that. So a 9-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that.
I think it's Gloucester.
Sure.
Because there's a town named after it.
Any of you folks on the other side of the pond that listen, let us know if we're pronouncing this right, which I'm almost certain we're not.
Or anybody in the town of Gloucester.
Sure.
I think it's in Virginia.
I'm pretty sure this is in like...
No, the name of the town. I've seen that word before.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought this was in like England or some shit.
Probably. Anyways, the cheese is released and it can get up to 70 miles an hour. The first runner to get to the bottom of the hill wins. So, all right. Chase the cheese wheel, you get to the bottom, you win. Cool.
Yeah.
Kind of has the same ring of when I heard chicken chasing.
Like in Rocky?
Yes and no.
Okay. I was like, are you training for a fight with Apollo Creed? Like, what the
they do it in Louisiana. It's a Mardi Gras tradition.
Oh, okay.
They take a chicken and they throw it up in the air and it runs around like it did in Rocky.
Uh-huh.
And then the first person to catch the chicken gets to keep the chicken.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to show you video.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
We know somebody who is a chicken chasing champion. We'll just put it that way. Multiple years.
Putting that shit on top of all my resumes. Chicken chasing
special
champion.
Qualification.
Right, 5 years in a row. Right. Any other? That's for that section on your application where they're like, any other skills you'd like to tell us about?
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yep, you got it. Okay, so as you can imagine, dozens are injured every year because this cheese is rolling 70 miles an hour, or up to 70 miles an hour. And contestants attempt to make it down the hill. They're often hospitalized, as you would expect, rolling down a giant hill. So the hill's got to be pretty steep. For this wheel of cheese to make it 70 miles an hour.
It's not like a crazy steep hill. It's at enough of an incline and it's long enough to where it kind of picks up speed over time.
Okay.
Because you can walk up it, I mean, it's uneven as shit from people jumping and flipping and sliding down it, but it's not like nothing super crazy because I watched a few videos on it, but the best part about it is, and it's short, like it's not a super big hill.
Well, no.
Like, it probably takes about 35 seconds to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
If you're not falling all over the place. The best part is to just watch compilation videos of people falling. Because
I can imagine
you'll have a good number that try to run in the beginning. You have a good number that try to slide in the beginning, like on their ass and shit. And then you have a good number who start trying to do something and just start flipping. And I would be one that would attempt to just start walking down the hill, and then next thing you know, I'm going to be ass over feet and just tumbling. It was hilarious. There was this one video I watched, and it was a guy in a green shirt. And I thought was dead. Like, legit dead. Because his body was just ragdolling, just down the hill, like, just limp limbs just flapping all over the place. And I was like, I think that dude died, and his dead body is just rolling down this hill, and no one notices.
Everybody thinks that smells the cheese.
Right. They was like, oh, this guy, he was in first place. He won. He's like, well, yeah, because y'all just threw a dead body down the fucking hill. There was not a whole lot of resistance to it because he's just flopping limp the whole way. It was, oh, man, it's hilarious. My biggest question would be, I don't care where it came from, what it represents, how it started, whatever it means to the people. None of that shit is all irrelevant to me. Has anyone ever been killed by the cheese? That is what I want to know. Because at 70 miles an hour, a 9-pound anything at 70 miles an hour would kill you. Like, blow a hole through your goddamn chest. So that's what I want to know. How many people have died from the rolling cheese ball that y'all... And I mean, and you remember like in like cartoons, like a... Tom and Jerry cartoon where like cheese was like a round thing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like a tire of cheese.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at the grocery store, we had a cheese deli.
Okay.
So when you get fresh cheese in, it comes in a giant round.
Yeah,
basically
so not like
tire.
A ball, like a basketball,
no,
but more like a tire.
It's more of a tire shape.
So basically a 9-pound tire going 70 miles an hour. I'm sure has killed someone at some point. Maybe not recently, because maybe they've, had enough times doing it to where they figured out a safe distance for people and shit. But I'm certain if this started in the 1800s, a bunch of motherfuckers died during this shit the first few times. It was like, well, hey, you said you weren't happy in your, relationship anymore.
You live by the cheese, you die by the cheese. Thanks to Gabriel Iglesias for that, because that's a pun off of one of his jokes.
But yeah, so if you guys are interested in going down a hill, and probably injuring, possibly killing yourself, by all means, it is an annual event.
Running with the cheese.
Oh, and in an article too, I also saw there's no like formal sign up paperwork, any kind of release form or nothing. You just get up there and take your drunk ass down the hill, because these people have to be drunk. Yeah. Like, surely no sober person would do this, but maybe.
Well, I don't know. When in the summertime, when we go tubing, not now because there's a lot of trespassing laws and signs are up.
Sure.
But when I was younger, the river that I go tubing down has a very large sand hill.
Sure.
And the top of the sand hill is like some scenic outlook or something, and then the bottom of the sand hill backs up to the river.
Sure.
So you can climb up the sand hill and then run down into the water. And I have to say, I've done it quite a few times. Usually I end up ass over feet, just kind of tumbling, because you're trying to run. It's sand. It's downhill. It's very steep. So I just keep picturing running down this sand hill when I picture this running of the cheese thing.
You basically have everything that could be working against you working against
Exactly.
you.
And then you run into some really shallow water. So imagine hitting a belly flop after you just kind of tumbled.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's gone face first into that shit before.
Yeah. Yep. So that's we're going to move on with that, because I don't know, the cheese. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip around because I want to save the one that I found for the end of the dumb shit here.
Was there more?
There's the one that your friend from work gave you at the last minute.
We're gonna wait on that one.
Okay, well we'll wait on that
because I didn't get
fact check
the
it
shout out
first?
information on him yet.
Okay,
so
we'll throw it in there next week.
But I got you next week, man.
All right. Then on to the one that I found. There is now a trending tool that allows you to lick your pet. I will say this again. There is a tool that you can buy. You put this in your mouth and you lick your pet.
Well, to be fair, it's grooming. But
But
yes.
you do it with your mouth, and
Yes.
the tool is shaped like a tongue.
Oh, yes. No, for sure. No, it's supposed to simulate, yeah.
So, PDX Pet Licky Brush.
The name is the licky
Put out
brush.
by the PDX Pet Design Company. This is available for purchase on Amazon for $24.99. You put this rubber piece in your mouth, and then there's a tongue piece that hangs probably 4 or 5 inches outside of your mouth, which has raised, I don't know what you'd call them, but like raised bumps that stick out quite a ways.
Yeah, I don't know what the name for it would
I don't
be.
know what you would call them, but anyway. Essentially, think of like the bottom of a cleat.
Ribbed for your cat's pleasure.
I didn't want to go there, but okay. You have like, it looks like a baby teething thing, where that has the spikes that the kids can kind of chew on.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're supposed to put your cat, and I assume that you could do it for dogs too, but the marketing is for cats.
Yeah.
So you take your cat and you put this thing in your mouth, and you're like, move the cat up to you so you make like a licking motion, and it's supposed to groom your cats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw the picture before I read that it was a real thing. What the hell?
Yeah.
It come across my Facebook. So then I did some digging, and I found out that you can actually find it on Amazon. And there are pictures.
When you sent this to me, I was like, this has to be fucking fake.
No,
I was like, this can't be real.
I can't make this shit up. Somebody can't make this shit up.
I was like, this has to be like a fucking skit or a prank or some web episode joke.
Available on Amazon. They are currently out of stock until June 12th, but you might be able to be on back order. First of all, I don't like cats well enough to even want to hold a cat, let alone want a cat near my face, let alone to buy this piece of rubber for $25 so that I can lick this cat.
The low price.
No.
Okay. I have issues with like pet owners. No offense to anybody who, hey, I loved my dog and I loved my cat when I had them respectively, and I love animals, so don't take this the wrong way. But there are a certain segment of pet owners that just drive me crazy. The motherfuckers that put their pets in bags and carry them around, strollers and shit like that. Like, that is the most obnoxious, just pretentious shit. It's like there are people who can't buy strollers for their kids, and you're buying them for fucking your Toto. Like bitches that carry their dogs in their purses and shit. People that bring dogs into public places, or people that dress their pets. All that kind of shit drives me crazy. This is just the next dumbass evolution of all that stupid shit. It's like, instead of trying to make your pet more human by putting them in clothes and strollers and shit like that, we'll just make you more like an animal, and then you can just groom them like their mother would groom them as well. You can just lick your cat. Which, it was funny, when I was reading the Amazon description, it was talking about like all these different features and shit, and it was like, oh, and we'll help prevent, hairballs and like kinks in their fur and all this other shit. And it's like,
isn't that what a brush is for?
thank you. I'm like, you can do all this shit with a regular grooming brush.
You
like,
don't have to put the damn cat near your mouth.
No.
That's...
No, I'm not one of those people who I have issues with, like, cats and dogs, like, licking your face and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, that's whatever.
See,
it's like, some people think it's gross, but...
I think it's gross if a dog licks my face, but I'm willing to let one lick, like, my feet or whatever. I mean,
sure.
It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff don't bother me, but I feel bad for the pet. It's like, yeah, you might think this shit is cool, but I know the cat's like, the fuck is you doing?
Come here, Fluffy!
It's like, get off of me. He's like, you are a human. I am very well aware you are not a cat, and the fact that you are doing this is fucking weird. I'm like, I swear to God, that's what they need to be figuring out, is how to make a recording device to, translate animals' thoughts into English or, something that humans can understand. Because I'm like, there is no way in hell no self-respecting dog would ever let you do this shit.
No.
That's why they always show you with cats and shit, because cats don't give a fuck. As long as you giving them attention, they'll just eat it up. Dogs, they be like, nah, man, I don't do that shit. Get the fuck off me with this, man. He's like, throw something and I'll go bring it back to you. But this licking bullshit, it ain't.
Don't
I'll lick you, okay? There's only going to be one licking going on in this relationship, and I do the licking. I lick your face. I groom you, okay?
Not the other way around.
Right. This shit is just weird.
So, yeah. Those are our submissions for Dumb Shit of the Week. Everybody remember, Dumb Shit of the Week. God, I can't talk today. Dumb Shit of the Week is your show for you. Send us in your submissions every week. We'll compile them. We'll read them. We'll shout out to you for sending it. So please, keep them coming. You can always send us your dumb shit submission. Yeah, there we go. I'll get it. I promise.
A lot of S's in there.
Yeah. You can send it to us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can always email it to us at officialoglfg@gmail.com.
All right, boys and girls. So is there anything else you want to leave our wonderful listeners with today?
No, not this week.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, guys, we enjoy having you with us. That's it for the show, though. So, hey, but before we go, make sure that you guys take your iPhone and or your Android, either one, go to the, Apple Store, go to Google Play, whatever you got to do. Download Podbean, make an account on Podbean, and then go search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. Subscribe to us. And you would be doing us a huge favor. And you would be such a lovely person for doing so as well. But yeah, no, Podbean is one of the best podcasting apps out there. Podbean has been a leader in the field of podcasting for well over 10 years. They develop innovative tools for podcasters and podcast listeners like you. And you can download it on the App Store, like I said, or get it on Google Play. But remember,
And it's free.
Yes, it is absolutely free. Like, everything we do it for you, the people. But remember, you guys can always find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Or you can find us at our home at onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. Make sure to show us some love on any platform that you come across us on. So go ahead and like, subscribe, rate. Reviews would be awesome. Obviously, 5 stars because we're great like that. But yeah, rate, review, follow, all that shit.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you just want to say hi, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. We're on Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Tumblr, even Instagram. And all you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.